Okay, in this video, we will discuss SAS format. SAS format is used to enhance the readability of reports by formatting the data values. For example, instead of print this number, so then we may add comma and add dollar sign, so to make the display is more meaningful and easy to read. Or instead of print the exact value, so we may print the text such as more than 50,000. So this strategy is commonly used to display meaningful text for some numerical coding. So notice the value in the SAS dataset are not changed. So we only change how the value are displayed. There are two closely related concepts, one called SAS format and one called SAS informat. Format determines how values are printed, and informat determines how values are read and stored. In this video, so we only discuss format. So informat, we will discuss it later. So we use a format statement to specify a format. So we first say format, list the name of the variable, and then specify the format. A format has the following component. So first, we may have a dollar sign. So dollar sign is needed only for character variables. For numerical variables, we do not include this dollar sign. Then we will have the name for the format. And so after that, so W specify the width of the text, including decimal places and maybe any other special characters. Period is needed for a format. And so D is the number of digits after decimal place, after decimal points. So let me show you some examples. So first one, w.d. So this is a standard numerical format. So for example, you may have 8.2. It means we have, so the text will have at most 8 characters, including decimal point. And we have 2 digits after the decimal point. $sign WD. So this is a standard character format. For example, so you may say $sign 5 dot, right? So this just means a character. So with at most means a text with at most 5 characters. So notice, see this period, so is needed for a format. Comma w.d. So this is another commonly used format. So this just means we will add comma. So for basically for every 3 digits, right? So comma 8.2. So this is a means, so at most we have 8 characters. So including that comma and also decimal point. So $WD. So this is a commonly used format for money, right? So in this number, so we may also include the dollar sign in the front of the number. So for example, so for this number, so 12,345.67, right? So this is the value stored in your SAS dataset. So if you specify different format, so this value will be displayed in different way. So if you specify it in the format 8.2, so this is just how the value are displayed. So if you specify the format at 8.2, you can see, so see for every 3 digits, right? So we will add a comma. And so if you specify the format as $10.2, right? So SAS will add a dollar sign in the beginning of this number. So make sure, so you need to specify enough width for your number. So if you do not specify a format width large enough to accommodate a numerical number, so then the displayed value is automatically adjusted to fit into the width. So let me show you this example. So this is the stored value, right? So if you specify a format 12.2, because see these two 0.2. So means we have only 2 digits. So after the decimal point. Yeah. So but the original value, so we have 8 digits, right? 4 digits after decimal points. So SAS will round the number to be like that. Yeah, because we have the name of the format is comma. So SAS will add a comma here, right? So this is the displayed value. And so if you specify the format as 12.2, so the difference between this and the previous one is, so we drop the comma, right? So SAS will not add a comma. So if you specify the format as $12.2, so SAS will add a $sign in the beginning of the number. And so if you specify the format as $9.2, so notice what's the difference? Since there's no comma, right? So if you count the number of characters in this output, see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So in total, so this one has 10 characters. If you specify the width as 9, so SAS cannot display all characters, right? So then SAS just drop the comma and so display the value in this way. And so if you specify the format as $8.2, well, so we need to drop another character, right? So SAS drop the $sign, and so to make sure all the number can be displayed. Well, so if you further specify the format as $5.2, well, so then SAS has to round this number to be like that, basically drop, so decimal point and all the digits after the decimal point. So if you specify the format as 4.2, and so SAS will just show this as in scientific notation. Right. Yeah. So this so if you didn't specify a format with enough width, and so SAS will automatically adjust so how the value are displayed. So may or may not be the format you specified. So how about date? A SAS date is stored as a number. Yeah, and so January the 1st, 1960. So this day will be day 0, right? And so then any day just will be stored as the difference between this day. Yeah, so for example, the number 1, right? So just means the second day. Okay, so will be the January the 2nd, so 1960. And so -1 just means the previous day, right? And so that's December 31st, 1959. And so 365, so this is just the end of the year, right? So will be September 31st, 1960. And so 366, so this just will be the January the 1st of the next year. Yeah, so anyway, the SAS date is stored as an integer. Yeah, so it is the difference between today. Yeah, so just how many days after January the 1st, 1960. So here, so we only specify some popular format for SAS date. Yeah, so this one is MMDDYY6. Yeah, so 6 just means the length of the characters will be 6, right? So M means month, D means day, and Y means year, right? See, this means month, January 1st, January the 1st, so 1960. MMDDYY8, right? So then basically we just add slash, so between month and the day and the year. Probably so this is one of the most commonly used. Yeah, we have MMDDYY10. Yeah, so in total we have 10 characters. Yeah, so we use 4 digits for year. Date 9, so this is just for month, and we use 3 letters to denote it. Yeah, so this is date 9, date 7. Okay, so 9, so we just use 4 digits for year, and so 7, so we use 2 digits for year. So this is word date, right? So just we will say December 31st. Yeah, so this is how this SAS format. We may have DDMMYY, right? So see, this one is MMDD. So this one is DDMM. So we just put the date before month in some European country. And the date is commonly displayed in this way, right? So we have DDMMYY. Okay. Yeah. So the last one is the week date. Yeah. So we also specified the day of the week. Yeah. So like the Sunday, right? Yeah. So this is the commonly used SAS date. Probably so I should show you some constant. I mean some example related to those. So we will use this. This is an example of the by. So we have two variables, right? And so we have amount and the date. Yeah, so like, okay, yeah. So the first one is the month, the date. So the next one is amount. See, so for example, so you use the format just for that amount. So we just use comma 12.2, right? So specify, so the maximum length will be 12 characters. Yeah. So then if you use this one to display, you can see, so basically SAS will add comma, right? So it is much easier to read the output. Yeah, because the amount, I guess, so is the dollar amount, right? So we may use the format $12.2. Okay, right, so SAS just add dollar sign. Yeah, so for the date, for that variable, so we see those are just displayed in this. This is the date 10, so that this is name of the format. Oh, in fact, so if you check the proc contents, and so you will notice, so this have the format, right? So for that variable, yeah, so date, you can see, so it is saved as a date 9, so this format. So if you do not specify a different format, so SAS will just display this value in this format. So you can check for the date, you can check so how the value it is in terms of number, right? See, I specify format of the date to be comma, so 10.2. You can see, so the date, so essentially, so date will be a integer, will be a number, right? Yeah, so then I can specify the date to be other format, so DDYY10. Yeah, so this will be like, see, this is DDYY10, right? DDYY10. Yeah, so first one will be the month, and so then the date, and then the year. Okay. So then we can try a different format. I just run them together. So we have a date 7, right? Yeah, so this is a date 7. So we just use a 2-digit for year, right? So this is a word date. Yeah, we have January 1st and comma, and then 4 digits for year. So this is called week date. Yeah, so week date. Yeah, so also include the day of each week. Yeah, so those are just a commonly used format for date, for SAS date. So then SAS constant, yeah, so this is commonly used, for example, so if you want like the date earlier than certain day, right? Of course, so you can compare the day with a digit, yeah, but it's very difficult to count how many days it is. So after January 1st, 1960. So then we will have SAS provide a way called date constant, so make it easier. So this is how it looks like. Yeah, so basically, see, first notice, we will have a quotation mark. quotation mark here and a quotation mark here. And so within the quotation mark, right, so we have DD, just use 1 digit or maybe 2 digits to indicate the date. And so we will use 3 letter abbreviations to indicate the month, and use 4 digits to indicate year. And so after the quotation mark, so make sure to add a letter D. Yeah, so this letter D just tells us, so this is a SAS date. Yeah, so for example, like in this example, so this just means December 14, 2000, right? For example, so in this by example, and we know, and yeah, so the variable date, so those are the date, right? So here I just want to only keep for the date, so earlier than January the 1st. Okay, so then I will write the code in this way. Oh, I think so. I modify the code there slightly. See, if the date is earlier than January the 1st, 2000. Yeah, so then I define a new variable. I call it time. So then the value is new. Yeah, so otherwise the value of the time will be old. Yeah, so let's run this one. Right, you can see. Yeah, so for this, so they are new. Those are old. Okay. Probably so I need to switch a new and old. Yeah. Okay, so this is how to compare data and how to use date constant. Well, so SAS provide many format you can use. Just in case you want to define your own format, so that's also okay, right? So you can use a format procedure to do that. So this is a syntax for the proc format. So then you will have this value statement. So this is used to define a format. Yeah, so then first, so here, so will be the name of the format you create. Okay, so then you just specify, so for range, just specify either single value or maybe range of the value. So then in the label, you just specify the corresponding text you want to display. So this label, usually, so we will put those inside of quotation marks. Yeah, but it is not necessary. The length of the label can be very long. Yeah, so can be up to 32,762 characters. Yeah, so you may have one or more value statement in one format procedure. Okay, so notice, so when you define this format, so you do not need to add a period. Yeah, but however, so when you want to use that format, you need to add that period. So for name of the format, so cannot be too long, so cannot be more than 32 characters. For numerical values, and so you must have a $sign as the first character, and a letter or underscore as second character. Yeah, so for numerical variables, because we do not need that $sign, so then the first character must be a letter or underscore. And the name of the format cannot end in a number, and so cannot be the name of an existing SAS format. And so we do not use period in the value statement. So that period is only needed when you use the format. So let me show you some examples. So in this one, suppose we have so this is just used to define a format called gender, right? So when you in a data set, so typically, so we may use 1 or 2 to indicate gender, right? So for example, so 1 for female and 2 for male. So then you can define a format called gender, right? So 1 will be female, and so 2 will be male, and so for other value, and so we will label it as miscoded. Okay. Do I have? Okay, not here. Yeah. So this is another example. So we just want to define, so suppose those are just maybe the exam scores, right? Just from maybe from 0, 1 to, up to 100 or even higher, okay? So then, so this is a name of the format. And so low minus 49, so just means, so for the value smaller than or equal to 49, the corresponding text so will be below. So it will be displayed as below in the output. And so for value between, from 50 to 99, right? So will be displayed as average. Yeah, so this minus just is used to indicate range, right? So to indicate the lower and upper endpoint of this interval. So from 100 and higher, right? So minus higher, high just means so any number so larger than 100, right? Yeah, so in this range, so it will be, the text will be displayed as above average. So notice when we specify the range, and so both endpoints are included. So if you do not want to include the endpoint, yeah, so for example, so if you do not want to include 50, so then you just write this as 50 smaller minus 99, right? Or if you do not want to include the upper end, do not want to include 99, so then you will say, so 50 minus less than 99. Okay, so basically use this less than, use this symbol to exclude the endpoint. Okay. Yeah. Let me still use this to show as an example, right? See. For the SAS, for the help by, so this is the original data, right? Look at this amount. So they are in just, it is a numerical variable, right? So then I just create a new variable. I call it my labor. Yeah. So the purpose is, so instead of display those number, right? So I just want to print the corresponding text. Okay. See, low minus less than minus 1,000, not 1,000, that's 10,000, right? Yeah. So just means if the value is smaller than minus 10,000, yeah, so SAS will display the text worse. So this just means from minus 10,000 to 0, and so SAS will display bad. And from 0 or higher, so does not include 0, yeah, because 0 is included here, okay? Yeah, so because we have a less than symbol. So this just means, so for any positive value, and SAS will display code. So notice this is one statement, yeah, from here to here, so there's no semicolon, right? So only one semicolon in the end. So by this way, we define a format called myLabor. Yeah, so if we want to use it, see, format, so this is name of the variable, so we want to apply this format to this variable, see, myLabor. So notice this period. No period here, right? Because, so no period, so when we define the format, yeah, but we need a period when we want to use it. So let me show you this. You can see, so instead of the numerical value, so SAS will display words or bad, basically display those text instead of numbers. Okay. This is another example. Yeah, so just assume the grades, right? So it can be A, B, C, D, F, or maybe incomplete or unsatisfied. Yeah, so then, so notice the original value are characters, right? So then we have a $sign here because this format is defined for a character variable. Yeah, look at here, so those no $sign here, right? Yeah, because those format are used for numerical variables. Well, so then this just means if the value is A, and so then we will display good, right? So B minus D. So this just means specify range, right? So means letter B, C, D. And so then we will display it as fair. Yeah, so if it is F, so it will be displayed as poor. So I and U, so these two letters, so it will display C instructor. And so others, others just means those value, the value not listed in the above, right? So will be displayed as miscoded. Okay, so by this way, we define a format so we can use for those grades. Well, so this is an exercise, and so you may pause the video for a while, and so work on this by yourself. Okay, yeah, so I assume so you've already finished that. So let's look at them together. So for this one data set, so use a proc contents to check the format, right? So let's see, we use proc contents. So data is SAS help demographics, right? So you run it and you will see. So see format, right? You can see, so for some of them, so those are the percent format is just SAS will basically show that number as a percent. Okay, right? Yeah, and so see we have comma 15 dot. Yeah, because so we know, so for population, so it cannot be decimal point, decimal numbers, right? Yeah, so then we have dot, so cause it will be displayed as integer, right? Okay. Yeah, so those are just a different type of format. So maybe we can check that proc print data equal to SAS help demographics. Okay. Yeah, you can see it. So see for those some of the numbers, right? So they are displayed as a percentage. Okay, right? Yeah. So this is just the output of that comma. I think so. Comma 15. Yeah. Okay. The next one. So try to display the following. Use the following variable using a different format. So the ISO name, ISO name, I think, what's that? ISO name, what's the, for here, so it didn't specify a format, right? And ISO name, this one, right? Yeah, so for example, so we can specify format ISO name. So I ask you to specify the format as 10. Okay. Yeah. So if you write, I guess you may notice, so some of the name are truncated, right? Because, for example, so here should be United States. Because you specify the total length of the text is 10, right? So then remaining characters are truncated. Okay. So this one is pop. So I just ask you to try different format for this pop. Pop, right? Yeah, because see, we specify comma 8.1, so the total length of this one should be 8, right? So with one digit after decimal point. Yeah, so like this one is fine. But this one, so it didn't specify the value as what we specify, right? So the reason is, do you remember? So if SAS cannot display the value in the width we specified, so SAS will adjust that automatically, right? So like this one, so this is automatically change the format to a scientific notation, right? Yeah. So this happens just because you didn't specify the width large enough. Okay. So check other one. So dollar sign, of course. This should not be a dollar, right? So just ask you to check. Run that just for fun. Okay. Yeah, you can see it just specify a include a dollar sign here. Yeah, but for those, SAS didn't include a dollar sign. Yeah, because SAS cannot display that value in, within 10 characters. So this is MMDDYY. See, we mentioned SAS date is a number, right? So population, of course. So this is also a number. Yeah, so we can display that number as a date. Well, you can see. So of course, so this is a very large date, right? So that's the year 9217. Yeah. So anyway, so this just tells you just tells you basically the SAS date is saved as a numerical numbers. So the last one shows this as a percent, right? So total FR. So what is total FR? So VAR, total FR, right? So we may check this one first. So this is total FR, right? Yeah, so then I ask you to display total FR as percent, okay? Yeah, like that one. Oh, what happened? Oh, so I needed to add the name of the variable total FR, okay. See, just change that number. That number is displayed as a percentage. Well, so this is the end of this video.